Alright, so now that you know how to use the bumper sensor, we're going to go through and do a project that'll use it. The idea of this project is it'll drive forward until it bumps into something, and then pick up whatever it bumped into. And the idea is rather than before where we've like hard-coded how far it goes, this way if we change the distance between where it starts at, it should still be able to pick up the object. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So first thing we'll need to do is the motors and sensor setup. So we'll start with the motors. For mine, I have the left motor is in port 1, and the right motor, this is for the drive, is in port 6. So I'll set both those up as motors. For me, I have to reverse the right one in order to make forward be forward. So yep, you'll just have to check that for yours. If you're using the Clawbot, it should all be the same as what I'm doing here. Then in motor port 10, we have the arm. Go ahead and tell it that there's a motor there. And in 11, we have the claw. So now we've got all the motors set up. We also need to set up our bumper sensor. So go over to devices. Mine is in port 8. So create a bumper sensor here in port 8 and call it a bumper sensor. Alright, so now it should have all that up at the top for you. So we've gotten all of our motors and sensors set up and they should be ready to go. So the first thing we need to do is figure out how to make it drive forward until we run into something. So for that we're going to use a while loop. And the while loop will be while the bumper sensor is not pressed, while it equals 0, we'll drive forward. So it'll just keep going forward, and as soon as it's pressed, it'll exit out of this while loop, and then we'll go down here, and the motors will stop. So you can use this part of your code if you want to have your robot, do the drive forward until something gets bumped part. The next part is what we need to do for the pickup. This might vary depending on the robot that you have, but here's the code that worked for mine. So first we need to close the claw. So I have it run at 100% speed for half a second to close it. And then I have it go at 20 speed just so it kind of clamps it a little bit so that way it doesn't slip out. But it's low enough that it shouldn't hurt the motor as much. Next we need to then actually lift up the arm. So again, for me this is the code that works. You might have to adjust it for yours. So I run the arm motor up at 100 speed. I have it go for 1¼ seconds. And this is long enough for it to lift well off the ground for me. And then I have it stop. Then after that, what I do, just because, when it gets to the very end of the program, everything shuts down, the motors relax, just so that way I can actually see it lifted up, I'm going to put a 5-second delay here. So it'll just hold it up in the air for 5 seconds, and then the program will end, and it'll do its thing. So now, hopefully, this code right here should allow you to drive forward until you run into an object, and then pick up that object. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys learned something.